So I've shown a lot of Easter eggs on this channel, but some of them are so good, I had to bring them back. As is the case with all of these compilation videos, I want to be clear. Some of you will have seen a lot of these Easter eggs before. So if you only want to see new, never before seen Easter eggs, then make sure you watch the brand new series that is all about Easter eggs I've never covered before. The latest episode was uploaded on Sunday, and I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So if I asked you to think of a Battlefield Easter egg, I can almost guarantee the Easter egg that you're thinking of is found in the game's multiplayer mode. I mean, I get it. The Battlefield campaigns are rarely home to great Easter eggs, and some Battlefield games don't even have campaigns at all. Well, Battlefield 5 did have an Easter egg to find in the campaign, and it's absolutely massive. During Act 3, you can find 3 extremely well hidden coins, and after picking up the third coin, this will happen. So a giant whale will fall from the sky and explode. Well, I say giant, I actually think that's a perfectly normal size for a whale, but you get what I mean. As for why this whale falls from the sky and then explodes like it's auditioning for a Michael Bay movie, I don't know. So for a long time, when a developer wanted to reference Pennywise, they would simply add a red balloon to a drain and call it a day. Don't get me wrong, this was cool the first couple of times I found it, but it got real old real quick. Well, that's where Goat Simulator 3 comes in. If you enter this sewer pipe, you can find this. So not only do the Goat Sim devs give you red balloons, and plenty of them, but they also let you meet the man himself. Okay, so this isn't Pennywise, but it is a clown in the sewers, which is close enough. Anyway, headbutting our new friend here will see him multiply. So perhaps it's good this isn't really the killer clown. Now I'm pretty sure that you can't find this next Easter egg because the game in question has now been shut down, which probably came as a surprise to no one. I mean, I know that Resident Evil has dipped its toes into multiplayer in the past, but Resident Evil Resistance felt like it only existed to justify Resident Evil 3 Remake's asking price because it was such a short game. Anyway, there was one reason that this mode was worth playing. When starting a match, there is a chance that you will hear this.
I calculate your odds of survival at 32.3333%. Repeating, of course.
Why are you doing this to us?
So that quote, particularly the percentage, is a reference to the famous Leroy Jenkins clip from all the way back in 2005, which I'm guessing makes a lot of you feel really old.
What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating, of course, percentage of survival.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Now, Nintendo is about as family friendly as it gets. Their entire brand is built around the fact that they are the console that the whole family can enjoy. And that's why this next Easter egg is so crazy. Early on in the Super Mario RPG, you get the chance to explore Peach's castle, which of course includes her bedroom, and if you inspect her fireplace, this will happen. So Mario will find something that one of the princess's aides is very keen on keeping a secret. What that thing is, we'll never know, but I wouldn't be surprised that if in the dark corners of the internet a fanfiction exists theorising what this mystery item might be. Now this next Easter egg looks so bad that some of you might think that I just popped a picture on screen to trick you all. But I promise, this is actually in-game. On the Alpha Omega map in Black Ops 4 Zombies, if you grab yourself a sniper rifle and look where I do, this will happen. Oh, and be warned, jump scare incoming. So, way off in the distance, you can see a zombie all alone, and if you try to get a closer look, you'll be jump scared. Like I said, this Easter egg looks really bad, but tricking a friend with one of these zombies jump scares back in the day was brilliant. Now, comic book games are usually full of Easter eggs and references to their source material, but Batman Arkham Knight takes this one step further. During the 1960s Batcave set time trial, you can find a whole bunch of callbacks to the show, which is great and all. But what if you've never seen it? Well, before making this jump, you can turn to the left and do this.
Bruce and Dick, with characteristic speed and resolve, descend promptly to the Batcave.
Okay, so it's not an entire episode, but you can sit in the Batcave and watch part of the 60 TV show from the comfort of your Batmobile, which is really damn cool. So this next Easter egg is one of my favourite video game Easter eggs ever, and as someone who has seen and recorded well over 1,000 Easter eggs and hidden details, that's some praise. Visage is one of those horror games where you're pretty much defenceless, which of course makes the game even scarier. Here's the thing. After being jump scared for what feels like the 100th time, you might wish that you had something to even the odds. And this Easter egg gives you just that. Well, sort of. You see, if you grab yourself a cross from the room that's full of crosses and carry it with you until you reach the broken floorboards, you can use the cross as a bridge, allowing you to find this. So after all that build-up, complete with Doom-style music, the shotgun is a dud, and you remain defenceless. Like I said, this is one of my favourite Easter eggs of all time. Another game that has you feeling helpless against all things paranormal is Phasmophobia. I mean, to be fair, you do have some gadgets that can help you find a ghost, but what if you're surrounded by 5 cloaked figures in some sort of ritualistic circle? Well, then you're back to being helpless again. If you look through the slightly open door in the lobby, this will happen. So you're surrounded by mysterious cloaked figures, who disappear before really doing anything. I think what makes this Easter egg even creepier is that you can actually see whatever is under the sheets breathing, which makes the whole disappearing thing that much stranger. Sticking with the creepy theme, up next is The Witcher 3. During the Tower Full of Mice quest, you find yourself investigating a haunted tower, and in one of the rooms, you can see this. Now, I remember seeing this years ago in an odd header video, and I don't know if the reason for this thing just standing here was ever confirmed. Whether it's an Easter egg, a glitch, or just part of the Haunted Tower's spooky vibe, I don't know. But what I do know is, it's really, really creepy. So before Nathan Drake was raiding tombs in the most handsome way possible, Lara Croft was doing the same, albeit in a much pointier fashion. In fact, some of you may remember that when Uncharted was first shown, many called it Dude Raider because of its similarities to Lara's adventures. Now of course, the Uncharted series went on to become a huge success in its own right, and some may argue that it even surpassed Tomb Raider, something which Lara isn't very happy about. In Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, you can find this. So this guy looks very, very similar to Nathan Drake, particularly his look from Uncharted 3. Whether this is him or not, well, I'll let you guys decide. Before you do though, allow me to share with you another potential dead Drake sighting. In the Eggcellent Clean House mission in 2019's Modern Warfare, you can find this guy.
We're working with an ultra-nationalist group. They'll handle operations in the east after the attacks.
Secure.
Okay, so ignore the fact that the man himself looks nothing like him, but I can't be alone in thinking that he is dressed a lot like Nathan Drake. I mean, he's even wearing a ring around his neck, just like Drake does. Of course, there's always a chance that this could be a coincidence, so again, let me know what you think. Now, you may not have realised this, but gnomes pop up all over the place in Watch Dogs 2, and most of the time they're partying or just having fun. However, there is one location where it seems like these seemingly innocent garden ornaments have much bigger plans. At this location on the map, you can find this. I mean, to me, this looks like some sort of rally, and I don't want to be around when the gnomes make their move on mankind. Now, when a game references another game, usually it's something small or, well, they end up like our friend Nathan Drake here. Well, in Goat Simulator's Payday expansion, the devs really went the extra mile. Pun intended. On the outskirts of the map, you can find this. So this is a pretty faithful recreation of Rocket League in Goat Simulator. And to be fair, it's actually pretty good. Now, Just Already is basically a Goat Simulator game as well, except instead of commanding a goat to do your bidding, you take on the role of a pensioner with a death wish. Seeing as your character already has one foot in the grave, you might think that you'd avoid graveyards and anything remotely close to graveyards, like the plague. Unfortunately, the next Easter egg is located in a crypt, so there goes that plan. So, down in the crypt, you can find the coffin of a WY, but when you open it, drugs will pour out. Now, I'm sure that I don't need to explain this one, but just in case, this is a reference to chemistry teacher turned drug kingpin Walter White from Breaking Bad. Oh, and that's not the only coffin reference in the crypt. You can find a coffin for S. Connor that's full of guns, which is a reference to Sarah Connor from the Terminator movies, and perhaps that coffin scene from Terminator 3, and you can also find coffins belonging to the 4 Ninja Turtles, with each of the 4's weapons found in their coffins, which is pretty cool. So sometimes I find an Easter egg in a game that is so weird that I don't really know what to say. And this is one of those occasions. At the Dewdrop Motel, you can find this.
For your own safety, please maintain silence.
So it's a robot giving another robot a lap dance. Now, here's where I would usually say this isn't something you see every day, but given the way that things are going, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if at some point in the future, this is something you see every day. Anyway, what makes this Easter egg so hard to find is that to open the door to this room, you need 20 strength. And I don't know about you, but if I found a door that required 20 strength to open, I would want a little more than AI on AI dancing. Oh, and speaking of dancing robots, in System Shock 2, you can find a robot that is far less focused on being sexy and much more focused on the Macarena. So this robot is performing a perfect rendition of the Macarena, a dance that ruled the dance floor of every wedding in the 90s and beyond. Now, to complete our robot hat trick, next up is Hitman 2. On the Miami mission, you can spy a robot in a window. And if we take a closer look, we can see that the sign behind the robot should say live exercise in progress, but now it's saying live exorcism in progress, which is very ominous. Well, if you keep looking, this will happen. So the robot will notice 47 and introduce himself. I mean, to me, it looks like he just wants a hug. But what do I know? So the Fatal Frame series is one that many modern gamers may not have heard of, but it's a game that is definitely worth checking out, even today. It's a tense, atmospheric experience that will have you on the edge of your seat. With that in mind, you might want to set the controller down every now and again and take a break. Well, if you do, be prepared for this. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is appreciated. If you're a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. And as always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.